Talk to me about Ken Lewis.
Well, Ken Lewis, military medal. He joined the prison service at the same time as I did in 1977. He'd just finished 21 years in the Irish Guards, and he was the same age as I was. And he was a great influence on me because I was coming from a completely different atmosphere. As you said, a big change from the dance halls and things. And Ken was a very tough, he'd won a military medal in Aden. They'd been on an which is quite a good gong. It's not as somebody cruelly said, a toilet cleaner's gong. It's a courage gong, you know. It's only a couple down from a VC, and they got ambushed by the ones they were meant to be ambushing. You know, they were careless, and the officer who was in charge of them, a young lieutenant, collapsed in the corner and cried. They were in a sanger. His nerve went, and Ken took command of things and sussed it out and won the military medal for that. The officer stayed on in the regiment, but as somebody said, they put him in charge of the band or something. You know.
Yeah.
But so no, he was a very interesting character. I noticed we were doing some PT and stuff, and his enthusiasm. He threw himself into the exercises, this army sort of background. And then there was an incident in the Maze prison. He ran, and I was one of his helpers, a committal wing, because most of the prisoners would have been on remand in Belfast, remanded in custody. Then they got sentenced, and then 2 or 3 days later they would come to the Maze to start their sentences, you know, whatever they'd got. And the Shankill Butchers were coming in, who were quite a well-known gang. You've heard of them, I suppose, yeah. And they came in dribs and drabs. Now, the committal wing was run on, so it had been set up by another ex-soldier, and it was run sort of on army lines. It was quite strict because some sort of maybe good reasons that it gave, you know, that they were shocked. They just got long sentences. There wasn't much for them to do, so we set up little routines of polishing stuff and cleaning stuff, more to get them out of the cells and get them mixing and, you know, just to try and start them on their sort of long sentences, many of them. And the Shankill Butchers, I think there was about 10 of them were convicted, some for lesser offences, but the main ones, Bates, and they came in, and the regime was quite strict, as I say, and they kept saying, when Big Sam McAllister, who was one of them, when he gets here, he won't do this. He'll never do this. He'll tell you to stick it where. We said, OK, when Big Sam comes here, we'll deal with him. You know, OK, fair enough, boys, but at the minute you'll do it. So we heard this day Big Sam was coming, and he was due in the afternoon, and Ken was a straight day. It meant he finished at 5, and I was working till 8. So I would have had to, we used to interview them, you see, just to try and get them to talk, see how they regarded their sentence. Right. Did they think it was fair? Were they spitting feathers, you know, just to try and gauge them. And he said to me, look, so we used to sit in the little office and talk to them. He said, if Big Sam gives you any trouble at all, he said, don't bother trying to talk to him. Just lock him up, Ken said. And I'll tell him Ken Lewis will be down here at 7:30 in the morning, and I'll unlock him. And if he wants trouble, I'll give him all the trouble he wants. And I thought, you follow a man like that, wouldn't you? Not the system will deal with it. I will deal with this guy. As I say, if you want trouble, I'll give you all the trouble you want. Now, come on out.
Personal responsibility.
Yes. You know, I always admire physical courage.